Greetings, beautiful people. I'm making another video. So this time I've decided to print out the agenda, and I'm going to just basically go over it with you. Hopefully it'll be a short video, but I want to touch on a few things. I know that not everyone reads through the entire agenda, so I'm hoping that by making the video, that makes it a little bit easier for you. I realize that when you're completing a class online, there's a lot of reading, and sometimes, it gets a little bit old. So hence the video. All right, so as you know, we're in week 13, and week 13 stretches from the 9th of November through the 15th. So it started technically yesterday, Monday. Monday, I didn't post anything. I was responding to student emails. I had a meeting, and I hosted office hours. So I was working on revising our agenda so that it would be, appropriate. So today, Tuesday, is the second day of our week, and the agenda is now available, hence this video. And in the agenda, I'm going to go over the assignments that are due for this week, and I'm also going to just go over some general information about the class. All right, so our topic is personality, which is chapter 13. And if you're ahead, if you've been following along on the syllabus, you might have already completed some of the Achieve assignments, or you might have already read chapter 13. But if you didn't, that's the chapter that we're on now, chapter 13, personality. And this chapter is a great follow-up to our last chapter, which was on social psychology. Because with social psychology, you study the ways that people, the individual, are influenced by others and how we influence others. But with personality psych, this is where you delve all the way into the individual. So when you read the chapter, you're going to find out a definition for personality as psychologists define it. You'll learn a little bit about psychodynamic theories, humanistic theories, trait theories, and then social cognitive theories. Hopefully, as you're reading the chapter, you realize this is a review, because remember, in the beginning of the semester, when we went over those perspectives, the modern perspectives, we addressed a lot of these same topics. So now we're just looking at it in terms of analyzing a person's style, So I have a note from the instructor on the agenda, and I'll read it for you. It says personality comes from the Latin word persona, and persona translates to mask. So in many ways, the study of personality is the study of the various masks that we wear. And there are many definitions of personality. Most psychologists agree that one's personality is unique, dynamic, and relatively stable. And what we mean by this is that every person on the planet has a unique way of expressing themselves. Who you are is who you are. Personality and identity go hand in hand. So when you study the self or identity, that's a little bit more in-depth look. It's more from the perspective of answering the question, who am I? As you learned in the social psych chapter. Whereas personality, it's what other people think of you, You're included in this definition, but it's really, like I said, a different angle of understanding what makes you unique. So each person is distinctive. Dynamic, this means that when you're a little kid until the time that you're an adult, your personality is not set in stone. It's changing based on your interaction with the world, based on your biology or physiology. So it's not set in stone, but it is relatively stable, relatively, consistent. It's so consistent that other people can detect it. So you're going to learn all about, like I said, the classic and the contemporary theories of personality when you read the chapter and you complete the Achieve assignments. This is one of those topics that I wish we were face-to-face, because I actually have activities and stuff for us to do, but we're going to make do, and we'll still have some fun with, watching the videos and hopefully on the discussion board. All right, so on page 2, this is where I start to go over the assignments, and you have 3 assignments to get done this week. First is the group project. You and your class members have been working on the group project for the entire semester, and now you finally get to finish it up, and you'll turn in a PowerPoint or a video or a PDF on this coming Sunday, the 15th of November. I've already made a video about this in the past, but just to make sure there's no confusion, the due date is the 15th of November. The link will be available by the end of today, and if you want to submit it early, you can. only one member needs to turn in the group project. But if you want to have a backup plan, you can have 2 members submit the project. I'm okay with that. For the members who don't submit the project, what's going to happen is it's going to show that you have a missing assignment in Canvas. If you want to avoid that, you can simply leave a note and say, I'm in this group. If you just upload a quick little text saying I'm in this group, then it'll make the notification go away. And also when I'm grading, it'll be easier for me because I'll see your comment and I'll say, oh, they're in that group. But whoever turns in the project, they're going to have a cover slide with the members who contributed names on the first slide. So that's how I'll know how to score you. Also, you have a link to rate one another privately, and I'll use those ratings to know who was in what group and who did what. All right, so that's 100 points. And there's a rubric available, so make sure you take a look at the rubric so you can maximize your points. I'm looking at how thorough the presentation is, how accurate the information you provide is. I'm looking at the clarity. Do you have 1 million words on every slide, or did you have just a few words or a picture and you use the speaker's notes? Obviously, that's preferable. You don't want to have a gazillion words on every slide. You don't want visual clutter. I'm also looking to see that you've included a reference list, the last slide, or last couple of slides, and just how imaginative and creative you are. So that's 100 points. The next way to earn points is via class participation, and you're going to basically complete CP9. You'll make your initial post by Friday, and then you'll respond to 2 peers by Sunday. And there'll be 3 options for you to choose from. You pick the one that's most appealing to you, and that's 5 points. The last way to earn points this week is through Achieve 9. And just like with the previous weeks, Achieve requires a 2-step process because I don't have the platforms synced. So in the first step, you will log on to Achieve and you will complete 5 assignments. The first is Chapter 13 Introduction, which is really just reading the introduction. You don't really submit anything. 2, you're going to do Learning Curve 13A. 3, Learning Curve 13B. 4, you're going to do a video activity on trait theories of personality. And 5, a video activity on psychodynamic theories of personality. All right, so these 5 assignments will be due no later than Sunday, the 15th of November. And step 1 is simply logging on to Achieve and completing them in Achieve. Step 2 is logging on to Canvas and providing a very brief reflection. The reflection can be 1 paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences, or it could be 2 paragraphs. But you're just going to tell me which assignments you did, which ones you enjoyed, which ones you didn't like, and what you learned. And that's pretty much it. And you'll get 10 points for doing that. So altogether, you can earn 115 points this week. All right, so that's week 13. Now, here's the extra information that I want to share. On the horizon, you have an opportunity for 5 points extra credit. And this 5 points extra credit is going to be related to a project that Professor Wendy Adams and also the Student Activities Board are combined putting together. And it's called Do the Right Thing. And definitely in our climate today, learning about diversity inclusion is something we all need to be aware of and take responsibility for. So this gives you a chance to earn 5 points by watching a video, Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, and then participating in some discussions. There'll be a speaker and a panel discussion. I'll be one of the people on the panel, but you're welcome to indulge as much or as little as you want. Just get involved. And there'll be some follow-up discussion questions after the 18th, and that's how you'll get your 5 points. All right, there's also 5 points that I owe you. I have not forgotten about it. If you agreed to participate in the Achieve study, then you would have received 5 points just for being a part of the study. And I have a list of people that the researcher gave me who, who agreed to be in the study. But because I'm teaching 7 classes and I have roughly 30 students in each class, I have a lot of sorting through. So I'm still hammering out or fine-tuning how I'm going to separate out, each student who agreed to participate in the class. So you'll have a link in Canvas, and that's coming. Don't worry, I have not forgotten about it. The other thing is, if you didn't want to participate in the study, I don't want to penalize you. I still want to give you an opportunity to earn 5 points. And so I'm going to give you a couple of discussion questions based or asking about research and the benefit of research and why it's worthwhile and how, psychologists conduct research. And so you'll get 5 points still if you didn't agree to be in the study. All right. The last little bit that I'm going to share is about the grades in this class. So as you know, we have 600 total points in the class. Some of the assignments were solo and some of the assignments required that you work with others. And I would really encourage you to look at the grades module that I created. There's an entire module that says you matter to me, your grade matters to you. And I created a document that goes over my grading philosophy and the rationale of why I do a group project, why I do a paper, why I give tests, why I do class participation, what I'm trying to accomplish, which is promote thinking, both divergent thinking, so thinking laterally, being creative, and also thinking in a linear way. I think you need to have both ways of thinking or become proficient with both ways of thinking to be successful in the world. And no matter what profession you decide to do, whether you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a professional skateboarder, whatever, interior designer. So, take a look at that module. Tons of good information. I created it for you. And if you, take a look at it, you probably will understand how things work in the class. But, any way you cut it, I've created a few little pointers on page 3 of the agenda, and I'm just letting you know that there's still ways to earn points. As you know, this week you can earn up to 115 points, and then we still have about 3 weeks left in the class, and you can earn 100 points for the remaining assignments. Besides that, there'll be another extra credit that will be applied to the final exam. That's worth 10 points. And then you have a makeup midterm. So if you missed the first test, there will be an opportunity to take an alternate. Also, there's a makeup quiz. If you scored poorly on any one quiz or you missed one quiz, there is a makeup that I do, and it's a cumulative quiz. And whatever you get on that quiz, I sub it in for your lowest quiz score. So you still have a chance to improve your grade. Don't give up yet. Hang in there. Persevere. If you have questions, comments, concerns, compliments, you can email me at simsa@cf.edu. You're also welcome to schedule a time to meet via Zoom. I have office hours Monday through Friday, so I'm available during office hours, and several students have taken advantage of that. So don't think that you're the only one. I literally meet with a lot of different students all the time, and I like you guys. I'm here for you. So if you want to meet, I'm all for it. It just has to be during office hours. My office hours are listed on the syllabus and also on Canvas, but just to reiterate, I'm available Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and again from 3 to 4 in the afternoon. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm available from 8 to 11 in the morning, and Fridays from 5 to 7 in the evening. I don't call students. I don't make house calls. But if you want to schedule a Zoom, if I have at least 24 hours notice, I can usually schedule a Zoom and, meet with you via Zoom. And if you don't want to be seen, you can black out your screen. I sometimes black out my screen. But if you want to have face-to-face, the Zoom, we can both have our cameras on and talk about whatever you need to talk about. The only other thing I would say is take responsibility for your grade. If you're doing well, pat yourself on the back. If you're not doing so well, just dust yourself off and try again, right? It's not the end of the world. Like I said, we have time. We have a little bit of time left. At the end of the class, if you end up with 540 to 600 points, you'll get an A. Between 539 and 480 points, you'll get a C. Between 479 and 420 points, you'll get a C. Did I say that right? And 419 and 360 a D, and 359 and below is an F. So if you get an F in the class, you shouldn't stress. The way it works is, you can retake the class with me or with another instructor, and then when you retake the class, the grade you get the second time, hopefully passing, will sub in or replace that failing grade. But I don't give grades. I basically assign grades based on the points that you earned. So you really need to earn as many points as possible. I think that's pretty much all I have to say. We're right at the 15-minute mark, and this was my first take, so we'll see how this goes.